man. Why? Because, or that woman, because we did not do what we're supposed to do. But I speak this by permission and not of commandments, for I would that all men, or even as myself, but every man had his proper gift from God, one after this manner, and another after that. I say therefore to the unmarried widows, we don't have any in here, it is good for them if they abide even as I, that's like by yourself. But if they cannot continue, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. You know, growing up, the old people used to tell you that. You better, you know, it's better to get married than to burn. You're burning up in your flesh. Or they say, if you burn, you're burning in hell, because you're doing some things even though you're a widow. And unto the married, I command yet not, but I, the Lord, let not the wife depart from her husband. So it's telling us that some issues goes on there. But, and if she depart, let her remain unmarried. If you go, you can stay single. Can you do that? Or be reconciled with your husband, that's the word. And let not the husband put away his wife. Man, you have some Jezebels out there, they will tell you to put her away. They would even give you a drug to put in her drink to put her away. Things like that happen once now. But to the rest, speak I, not the Lord, if any brother had a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. If the woman pleased to dwell, she won't stay. Don't put her away, is the word. And the woman which had a husband that believed not, and if he pleased to dwell with him, let her not leave him. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified, he didn't say saved, by the wife. An unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were your children unclean, but now are they holy. But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. A brother or sister is not under bondage in such cases, but God had called us to peace. I said, for what knowest thou, O wife, whether thou shalt save thy husband, or how knowest thou, O man, whether thou shalt save thy wife? If they remain, you don't know if you'll be able to be saving it, because you might have an unbelieving husband, and the way that you conduct yourself in the home by being saved and by living saved, and he's seeing your life, you could be saving his life because he's watching you, and one day he can turn over to the Lord, or one day she will turn her life over to the Lord. So we have to be, it's important for us to know how to live. But as God had distributed to every man, as the Lord had called everyone, so let him walk, and so ordain in all churches. But let me tell you something. I lived long enough, and I've seen a lot of things. I've heard a lot of things. And I realized that if you are married or if you're in a relationship, only you can keep that. People cannot keep that. Only you can keep that. Meaning if you want that, if you really want that without pretense, I'm not talking pretense, if you really want that marriage or that relationship, only you can keep that. If you find out that anybody can sit and tell you something about your husband or about your wife, and you believe it, and then you start having problems, you have a problem. And you have a big problem. Nobody should come to you and tell you anything about your wife, and nobody should come to you and tell you anything about your husband. And then if you find out that only thing you can say about your wife or anything you can say about your husband is negative, something is wrong. You know, all of us have our negatives in our lives and in the way that we are. But you, in a marriage, you have to look out for, get some of the positive things about your spouse, compliment them on it, say the right things to them, Don't only you should not be the only one who can, whenever is something wrong that I say, you hit on it, but if I say something right, I can't get complimented on it. Or if I'm wearing something that you don't like or you don't think I look good in, that's when you could say, why you have this on, and when I look good, you're not saying nothing. Something is wrong with that picture. But you can look at somebody else and tell them that they look good and you can't tell me. You know the devil lie, right? But it's a serious thing. You have people, you have women that will compliment another man. Physique. I like your muscles, I like the way you look, and they never say anything to their husband. You have some men that will compliment another woman and have nothing good to say to you. You feel like the old dog in the corner?
Yeah.
That shouldn't be. Somebody else hearing what you.
Oh, that was Jesus. That voice.
If anybody knows me, tell me around school, Miss Rollins, you speak straight. And I'm speaking from my heart. I have little notes, but I'm speaking from my heart. I'm speaking, like Pastor King said, from experience. Here are some ways. This is one of my days. They gave out several papers at the conference last week, Saturday. And only 3 I was able to get because the people were grabbing them. Even though the ushers and so I didn't get all of them. But I just want to read. I cannot even say, because I didn't have the first copy, who said these words, but it says, here are some ways husband injures a wife. Wife, I will get on you shortly. Ways that husband injures a wife without even thinking about it. There are some things that they say without thinking about it. Cuts her out of decisions. When you ask as if she isn't even there or wouldn't understand what you are talking about. See, sometimes they look at you as being dumb. She feels, don't let them have a little more education than you are, you know. She feels a part of her is detached. She sees the marriage as a partnership in every part of life, even the part she may never fully understand. Get her involved in the discussion, even if you ask her, if you ask her, what color is that chair? And she say red, at least you get in the conversation. And don't tell her, well, you don't know that's blue. Say, look at it again. You know, you want to be a part. And he fails to notice the difference she makes. A man doesn't want to be appreciated. A woman doesn't want to be appreciated for only what she does. She wants you to appreciate who she is. But you can admit it, she does a lot. Whether it's decorating the house, or making sure the clothes are clean, or that you have your favorite soap. A woman wants you to know what she does is valued by you, not other people. You know, I don't want nobody coming in my house and say, oh, you have your fix nice, and my husband come in and he looks right and he say that. What the husband or the wife say is important, you know. What anybody else say, it doesn't matter. Not as much as what the husband or the wife says. Underestimate small stuff. You only said this, but it was this to her, and it hurts. You may even think it's funny. She may even laugh, but it's often building a wall of protection around her heart each time you do. The key here is that you can't talk to her like you might talk to another guy. She hears and feels deeper than you do. Words can and do hurt. And you have to speak the way that you speak with godliness. When you talk down to her, as if she is somehow less than you, you bruise her spirit deeply. And you know she's not less than you, because you're one. So when you talk bad to me, you call me dumb, you dumb. You call me stupid, you stupid. Huh? Because you're one, because the word of God that I read, you're one. And you know she's not less than you. You don't even think she is. She just can tell that sometimes based on your tone and the way you talk to her. Okay? I'm not the dog and I'm not the cat. You speak to me as an adult even though I'm your wife. You don't raise your voice and yell and scream and all of these things if you're trying to get a point across. I am not innocent of that part. Okay, correct her as she's talking. This could be This could be finishing her sentence, especially if you're in company. Somebody said something, you finishing her sentence because you feel as if what she say, it ain't gonna make no sense. For her in company of others, she feels demeaned and devalued when you present her to others as if she can't compete with you in her original thought, which you know isn't true. Or you might say that I'm smarter than my wife. Act suspicious. Don't misunderstand or misapply this one. When you hide information, even when you think you're protecting her, you cause her to question your motive. When you protect your calendar or act like you are upset at the question, what did you do today? Or what did you talk about? Or who was that? When someone calls, it gives her an airy feeling something is wrong, and that hurts. That's why it's important. People in a marriage, everything a husband and wife do, even in finances, you can imagine that, I'm going to use Pastor King by permission. Pastor King gave me $50, right? And I feel as if they want to know that. Thought you knew he gave me $50. And I go to you and say, thank you all very much. He can get it. Because as far as you're concerned, you didn't know he gave me that. The decision's supposed to be that I think Sister Rollins needs something, and y'all agree to give me that. And y'all give that to me together. See, we don't know that decision making is very important in a lot of things because it can cause problem. I remember years ago, in the 90s, a lady called and said, tell your husband so what the finances. I said, just how you get you call him, I have nothing to say. So she wanted to cause problem by telling me that she got something and that I did not know about it. I said, y'all do know about that? Y'all, you call him and let him know. See, we have to realize that in this marriage, if you're one, you have to come in agreement with things.
Yeah.
You cannot go there doing things. You cannot go there doing things. I cannot go there doing things that he don't know and that Pastor Rolle do not know. Vice versa. It can cause a problem in the final. Okay? So get them involved and you make decisions together. You are one. You don't say I do. And so sometimes if she asks about what happened today, it's because she's suspicious. Who caused that? This one happens all the time. Admires other woman over her. Admires other woman over her. She sees you looking. She might even understand your highly visual makeup. You know, men are visual. It hurts her. However, when a glance becomes a stare, it's like a double take. Ooh, and you right the sun in the side here. You know, the grace of God, don't hit him in the head. But he right there staring from head to toe. You right there. You understand? Looking at the outside apparel now. Long hair, the hair you read. Color, ambi. And somebody say ambi means a lot, right? And high heel shoes and everything, and you looking at that and you know everything inside and outside about your wife. But you looking at that and that might not be real. Today, that can be a male.
Oh yeah. That's true.
You know, it can be a male.
Right, quick.
Look at what you have. Love the one you with.
Yes, sir. Yes.
When a glance becomes a stare, especially when it happens everywhere you go, all the time, everywhere you go, a wife's heart, no matter how independent or strong she is in tender places, lots of places. She can bruise easily in some areas of her life, especially the places that involve the people she loved the most, like you. A husband who understands this is more careful in how he speaks and responds to her. Most husbands I know would never injure their wife knowingly. They want to be her protector. Men, when we don't realize the damage we are doing to our wives, emotion, every desire, we have to be her defender. I always like to use this thought as a reminder. Would I ever allow a man to speak or treat my wife the way that I'm doing? She's a precious gift, guys. Let's treat her well. What are the ways do husbands injure their wives? You think about that without thinking about it. Okay? Some things that we need to know about our husbands. Men have ego. His ego is more fragile than you imagine. I know you're probably tired of hearing about the male ego. I get it, but it hasn't gone away. And frankly, the world isn't too kind on our ego. We see the jokes on every sitcom and commercial about the inadequate. We are times. But there's not a man with a soul that's alive that doesn't or want to be admired by a woman in his life. Not one. And I know that. You know, you could have a man probably in his 70s and a 20-year-old girl here and compliment him. And he feels he's 20 again. He like that, right? But she ain't know he after the dog. She after the dollars in the pocket. Some woman, you know you don't have no muscles and what you have draw. And she's telling you that you muscle. You can't see, she see dollar signs. You know you don't have a beautiful smile because you know at the age of 75 and 80, maybe two missing in the front, and she telling you that. Why? She feels if you have something, she wants something what you have.
Right.
And you get swing.
Big time.
More than you are probably thinking. You see his eyes roam. That's natural. That's a natural reaction for him. It's naturally. All right. He who attracted them. But there's a pretty girl, around. He probably saw her long before you did. Oh yes. Men see them quick. You step in the room, you ain't looking at them because you're looking at them. And you step in that room, you looking at where I reach in the room now, so I wonder who looking at me, this is the wife now, to see how I fix. That time he stepped in the room, he didn't see that person way down in the corner. Wow. And you looking at yourself. You don't open your eyes here. Anyhow. But if there's a pretty girl around, he probably saw her long before you did. And he likely battled staring more than you will ever understand. He look up, he look down, he won't look, and he won't look, and he's looking, and he's staring, because he know you looking at him, you looking at him, and he can get it. So now and again, he take a quick glance. He likely battles staring more than you would ever understand. He doesn't want you to be his mother, so don't be a mother to your husband. You can say ouch. If you need to, but men want a wife, not a mom. I hear this from men frequently, especially young men. If you are a mom, they want you to be a great mom, just not theirs. I know we need mothering sometimes, yes. Yes, we spoil our times to need that. But all of us do. We may even act like a big baby at times, but mothering, a husband never would, ever. Be our partner, our best friend, not our mother. When you correct him, you hurt him. That doesn't mean he doesn't need correcting. He might, but the way you do this is huge. Your respect for him is huge for him. His greatest emotional need. That could be in how he fixes the bed, or the fact that he doesn't, or for things forwards. It might seem as if you tell him to make up the bed, he didn't do it right, and you insult him or something like that, that hurts his feelings. If he senses you are talking down to him or not respecting him, he may comply with your wishes and actions or not. but inside his heart will be going colder towards you. When you feel as if he cannot do it right, or you comparing him with your brother or someone